But guys, here's the thing. I want to share this with you. I want to show you how you can do this business. I want to walk alongside you, so when you're in the ditch and you're freaking out, I can say, I've been there. Hey guys, Heidi Easley here, Texas Art and Soul, and I teach women how to make money teaching paint parties. And I'm actually going to be showing you some stenciling and painted prayers. So if you are brand new to me, if you would just let me know where you're from, or tell me if you're watching the replay or if you're watching it live, okay? So I'm gonna be sharing with you exactly how I do the stenciling for painted prayers. Oh, and I am using some beautiful gold metallic paint here. I think I might also be using some glitter, which I'm really excited about. So those of you that are here, I am going to be giving away, for those of you that are commenting and sharing, somebody's going to get shipped a llama for your mama that you can paint. So thank y'all so much for sharing and doing all of that. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the best way to bring God into your paint parties with painted prayers. So I'm going to show you, I am using a pick, one of these little, it's basically where I got it from Harbor Freight, and I'm going to use one of these picks, and I'm just going to kind of take all the little pieces out here, and then we're going to put it onto the painted prayer. So I'm just taking, this one says, "Fear is a liar." This song by Zach Williams, has anybody heard this song by Zach Williams? And if you have not heard it, oh my gosh, please listen to it. It was so funny. My husband was getting a playlist together for something the other day, and he came across that song, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so good. Have you ever heard this?" I'm like, "Yes, we listen to that in the car all the time. It's just such a great song." And it's so true. So many times we, think these things about ourselves, and it's not true. And I think it's important to have, things in your life that totally help you, because we can sit there all the time and feel like, we're not worthy, we're not good enough for this, or we can't, do what we're supposed to do in life. And I think it's a bunch of crap. I think it is a bunch of crap. So here what we're going to do is I'm going to do a painted prayer. This is a background that I got together. If you've never done a painted prayer, those of you that have joined Paint Party Headquarters, you will get that for free. There's some of y'all that have already joined. So thank you. We opened up the doors yesterday, and we've already had about 65 new members join. So we already had over 200 members in the group. So now we are pushing up to 300, and I'm so excited to welcome you all in. Basically, if you've never met me before, my name is Heidi Easley, and I teach women how to make money teaching paint parties. And so I'm going to walk you through how I do a vinyl stencil. But here's the thing, guys. This is an Oracle 813, like a one-time vinyl. And I'm going to show you how I put it on here. But I have taught painted prayers where we just used carbon paper. So you don't have to have this big fancy vinyl to make it happen. So I just want to say, first off, don't think you have to go buy a big machine. Don't think you have to have all these fancy things to do this. You don't. And then here is another great thing about doing painted prayers. When I teach painted prayers, I get the stuff ready, but I never do anything in front of them. I actually show them. So those of you that are starting to teach paint parties and you're kind of, oh, thank y'all for saying hi when you come on. And I'm also going to be, Craft Creations is going to be shipping one of you a llama to paint. So for those of y'all that are sharing and commenting, I'm gonna pick one person. I have so many fun prizes I'm giving away. I'm just gonna go through all my videos and pick one of you from each of the videos and ship you some fun happy mail. So be ready in June for some of y'all to get those that are commenting and sharing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But here's the thing. I've had some people that joined Paint Party Headquarters yesterday and said, you know, oh my gosh, I'm not the best painter, but you know, I really want to do this. I'm really excited. And I'm like, some of this, you don't even have to be that good of a painter. Seriously, this, and I teach you, I have a whole painted prayers thing that's in, I have a whole painted prayers thing that's in Paint Party headquarters. And I also have it if you just want to do the 5-day challenge. It's on my website. But you can seriously, like, do this in that 5 days. And then we're going to actually, I'm going to show you how I'm going to put these words on here. I'm actually going to use gold to put them on there. So those of you that have not joined Paint Party headquarters yet, the link is in the description. So make sure you join because the doors close at midnight. And the reason why is because I focus all of my attention on the members. Once the doors close, my focus is all about helping them get a profit every paint party, okay? So it's not that I'm trying to be a meanie and not give y'all a lot of attention, but my focus really does go to these women and strategies and helping them with all of their marketing and things like that. What I've known is that, you know, in my business, I found that anytime, this is just the clear tape, so it's gonna be a little loud. Hold on 1 second. Woo! It's getting real, people. It's getting real. Oh, this part you gotta be careful because you don't want it to touch anything. And I have a messy table. So let me move my prayer. We're gonna put this all together. Oh, thank y'all. I hear some other people have joined. Thank you so much. I am so excited to help you. Again, what I've noticed, you know, I have been teaching paint parties. The first one I ever taught was about 10 years ago. But I've been teaching them pretty much full time, even while I was teaching school, for the past 7 years, okay? And what I've noticed is the people that continually teach paint parties are the ones that continually change their marketing strategies. So, and they always have to have the best on-trend paintings. And that's what Paint Party headquarters offers, in addition to many other things. But that is really the biggest problem I kept seeing with people who would start this business, have a little success. And if y'all have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'm going to be answering some questions while I'm painting this prayer. But what I would notice is people would have like a little success and then they wouldn't have any. And then they would get frustrated and they would get mad. And what I noticed was people would just think, oh, I can do the same thing I did 2 years ago and it's going to work. Now, I'm just telling you right now, and the people in Paint Party headquarters know this about me. I am not a person that was like, oh, once upon a time I did a paint party. And now I'm going to tell you what I did, 5 years ago. No, I have 4 paint parties this month. Like, I am constantly teaching paint parties and learning everything I can so that I can teach you better and know what is going to work and what is not going to work. So I'm constantly like, I have my finger on the pulse. Like, some of this stuff I just experiment just with fun. Like right now I'm experimenting with something just to see if it works. And if it does work, then I'm sharing that with Paint Party headquarters. So I am all about making your life easier. Okay, so now that I have the transfer tape on here, okay, and I'm just gonna kind of push it down. We don't wanna go crazy. This isn't the time when you take a credit card and forever do this. Like, that's not it. You just kind of lightly take your fingers, do this, and then for those of you that have a crafty or artsy friend, and again, you don't have to be that artsy, especially if you're going to teach painted prayers. My whole mission is to share God's love through art, and I feel like the more we can get people off of their cell phones, creating, enjoying time with their family or friends, or maybe they come alone and they're doing something fun, for themselves, whatever the case may be. I feel like that is a win, in society in general. We just need that time to connect and to have that time. And so even if you're, watching this and maybe you're like, I'm not the best painter, but I could really use some extra money for my family, and this looks like something fun. And God is the ultimate artist and creator. We're a praying group of ladies, so a lot of our stuff is, revolved around supporting each other and praying for our businesses. Because I truly believe, like, my business would not be anywhere where it is without God, doing his part. With that being said, I'm not a person that says, just pray and it's all going to happen. Like, you have got to take inspired action. So what I do is when I look at my schedule and I'm like, oh crap, I don't have any paint parties scheduled. I stop, I take a deep breath. Let's all just take a deep breath right now. Y'all want to take a deep breath with me? Let's take a deep breath. That's nice. I take a few deep breaths, and then I ask God to show me opportunities, to please show me opportunities. I pray that prayer. This is any single time I am not having parties happen. I look over at my calendar and I go, we're going to be really hungry. We're going to be really hungry next month if I don't do something. And so I look at my calendar and I take a deep breath and I pray for God to show me opportunities. And I promise you, when you do that and then you take action, when I say take action, you do the steps that I show you in Paint Party Headquarters. Now, guys, here's the thing. One lady, she said, oh my gosh, she did a post. She goes, I've been doing it my way, and finally, I just did what Heidi said, and it worked. And I got parties booked. So what I'm saying is I am all about saving you time. If I would have met somebody like me years ago, do you know how fast I would have hired them to help me? And the cost of Paint Party Headquarters is less than one painter a month. The price is going to go up after this launch. So basically when I open the doors again in September, which the doors won't be open till September, when I open the doors in September, the price will go up. So guys, if you get in now, you're going to be grandfathered in. And here's the thing. We can all say oh, I want to do that, or oh, I can just figure it out. There's a zillion, videos on YouTube. I mean, heck, I have a bunch of videos on YouTube. However, the videos on YouTube and the things that are out there, guys, you got to pick and pull and know, and you don't know if those people are really teaching paint parties. You don't know if they've taught 1, they've taught 3, they've taught 5. You don't know. I have consistently, not only am I teaching women all over the world, not just the United States, but all over the world. We have somebody that joined from New Zealand this morning. We have somebody that's from Egypt. We have somebody in France. We have them all over the world. And that's the coolest thing is Painting with a Twist has paved the way for mobile paint party businesses like you and me. So again, it's not about having this fine art experience, so a lot of fine artists will kind of think, I'm selling out. And, I used to, as an art teacher, think, I am not teaching a craft. You're not going to see me teach a craft in my art room. I remember just having that mentality. But guys, when you are in the paint party business, you're teaching a craft. You're teaching something fun. You're teaching a giant pineapple. I mean, you're teaching exciting things. That doesn't mean that they can't get really awesome things from it, like a painted prayer that they're going to cherish forever. So on this part, so I have my fear. It has 3 pieces. So it has a background, it has the clear, and then it also has the inside. So I'm going to take off the back first. And all you do is just pull off the back. And again, you can use a carbon paper. And if anybody on here has joined Paint Party Headquarters, if you'll just let me know in the comments, just put, I joined. I'd love to just see who on here has already joined. And if there's anybody on here that is thinking about joining, but you still have questions and you're like, I just don't know. And ask those questions. Be brave. I am here seriously to answer your questions. I want to, help you with this. So if you're a person who's like, yeah, I want to, but I'm just really not sure about this, go ahead and ask that question, and then I will answer it for you the best I can. So I just pushed down that clear. Can y'all see this? Just let me know in the comments if you can see. Oh, yay. Welcome, Kim. Kim joined. Thank you, Kim, so much. Would love to join, just a matter of finances. Yes, just remember, if you go ahead and take the challenge. Oh, Chris joined. Welcome. Thank you so much. Anita's a part of it, too. If you take the challenge, so let's say it's a matter of finances. Go to my blog, my videos. There's 3 videos. So here's the thing, guys. If you teach one paint party, you have paid for the entire year of Paint Party Headquarters. I'm telling you, for example, you don't need a ton of painting designs to make a great season of paint parties. So we made the joke, you know, we had the truck that just keeps on giving. You know, I think it paid for everybody's Christmases, and then it just fell into Valentine's Day, and it just kept giving and kept giving. It was so funny because every time somebody would post another picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like this truck like paid for, you know, all their Christmases plus Paint Party Headquarters for like 5 years. It was so crazy. But here's the thing, you know, I know that people find the money for what they want. So if you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I don't really want to do paint parties, this isn't for you, and that is okay. You know, knowing what you don't want is half the battle. You know, I sit here to tell, you know, to show you that I'm here to guide you. So if you feel it in your stomach and you're like, yes, this is what I've been looking for, this is what I need, you know, then people find the money for what they want. They just do. I mean, they just do. That I've known that over and over again. So, you know, the price point is the price point until this Thursday. Then when I open the doors again in September, it will go up. But if you're like, oh, there's no way I can do it, then go to my blog, watch the 3 videos that are only going to be available until Thursday. Then they're getting taken off the blog, they're going to be taken off of YouTube, and they're only going to be available for the people in Paint Party Headquarters. And it's basically the Paint Party Revolution. And if you take that challenge, you'll be surprised. You'll probably book a paint party during this week. We've had several that have booked from that challenge. So I just want you to know that, you know it in your gut. You know if this is something you've been looking for. You know if this is something that you're really kind of wanting to pursue or even try. What I tell people, you know, there's basically 2 months of the year where there's a little bit of a struggle for paint parties. It's basically, can anybody guess what 2 months of the year are the biggest struggle for paint parties? Can anybody guess? I'm gonna put this part on here while y'all guess. Make sure I put it on the right way. I'm just hovering first, and then I'm just gonna do this. And those of y'all are sharing, thank you. We're gonna pick, One Person Craft Creations is gonna mail you a wooden llama for your mama so you can paint a cute llama. So those of you sharing and commenting, thank you so much. And then also if you have not joined Paint Party Headquarters yet, the doors are open till Thursday. They close at midnight. And let's see what y'all said. August and January, December and January. Oh my gosh, no, December, you can make a whole year's salary in December. Seriously, I'm not lying. It is crazy. Yeah, January and August. Those are the only 2 months. But here's the thing. Guys, you can still change that. For example, last August, I made a challenge to myself. I ended up having one of the best months of the year because I was like, nope, I'm not gonna let it beat me. And I just scheduled like crazy. And I had a huge August. January, I did 4 parties this past January. 2 of those got canceled, but the other 2 worked out great. And then I had pre-sold 13 spots from the months before. So I actually got paid in October for parties in January. So those are the kind of marketing things that I teach you so that you're not like January comes and August comes and you're not like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Because here's the thing about running any business. There are gonna be ups and downs. And if anybody sits there and says, everything's fine, it's all perfect, they are lying through their teeth, okay? Is anybody in here running a business or familiar with a business? Tell me in the comments if you've had nothing but only highs. It's not true. It doesn't matter. You know, you can be making a ton of money even in your business, and you're still gonna have things that come up. But we're creative, we're problem solvers. And that is the thing that I love so much about Paint Party Headquarters, is that we have so much room to be problem solvers. We have so much room to change things up. You know, in the past, I had a lot of people ask me if I would franchise, and I said, no, I don't want to franchise. I want to come alongside you and help you. That way you can change things at any time. You know, one of the girls, I'm gonna go ahead and paint this part so you can start seeing it. One of the great things about this is it's your business. So you can take and leave what you want from Paint Party Headquarters. So let's say, I'm trying to find my big brush. I'm gonna start adding some gold. Oh, Diane, we can talk about that. Yeah, fear is a liar. That is the whole purpose of this, is talking about being fearful. Let's see, Christy says, oh no, there are lows, but they're the times when I learn the most. Oh my gosh, isn't that the truth? Anytime I've had like the most challenging times in my life, you know, when I went bankrupt before the age of 30, very embarrassing and not, you know, something I love to say about myself. But now that I look back, I'm like, man, I learned so much. But yeah, we're going to talk about fear being a liar and how, you know, it stops us. You know, we're a child of God. We're supposed to shine our light. We're supposed to do things for the glory of God. But then it's this, you know, fear that comes over us that makes us feel like we're not worthy. Like we're not worthy to charge $35 a person. We're not worthy to make great money. We're not worthy to do what we love. We're not worthy to teach a paint party because how dare I make money doing something that God gifted me at? Like, you know, it's just such a lie. All of that is a lie. And it's up to you. You can keep believing that lie. And guys, if you join Paint Party Headquarters or not, you know, that's up to you. I'm not sitting here, you know, begging you to join. I'm just telling you what there is and what I have to offer. But on a side note, you got to stop believing the lie, okay? Fear is a liar. Guys, we can do nothing if all we do is sit there and believe all of this about ourselves. If we believe we're not worthy of success, if we believe God doesn't have big things for us, like, you know, freaking expect miracles. And 2 years ago, my dad had a heart transplant. And when my dad, like literally, we were in the hospital all night long. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. That song, all night long. But we were in, you know, my dad, I almost lost him. He ended up with a VAD, if anybody knows anything about heart conditions. He had congestive heart failure, and then he ended up with a VAD, and we almost lost him. He waited 22 months on the heart transplant list. 22 months. And when we got the call, okay, so I was teaching a paint party. I was teaching a kids' paint party. I got a call, and it was my mom, and I sent her to voicemail. No, it was my brother. I got a call, it was my brother. I sent him to voicemail. I got another call. It was my mom. I sent her to voicemail. And about the time I sent her to voicemail, because I was in the middle of this huge room teaching all these kids this paint party. And and I got, you know, as soon as I sent her to voicemail, my heart stopped. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, because we had been waiting 22 months for this call. And then all of a sudden, Bobby calls, my husband, and I answer the call. And I go, oh my gosh, is it it? And and he goes, yes, is it? It's time. And I go, oh my gosh. And he, you know, I'm in Granbury, and the heart transplant where he got it done was in Austin. And so, so here I am. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's time. It's it, you know. And so I'm standing in front of a room of kids, like literally in a room of kids, and I'm like, you know, okay, so get everything ready. As soon as I'm done, you know, it was like an hour and a half painting. As soon as I'm done, I'll be there. And so I start the paint party, and I'm like in tears. And there was a bunch of parents and grandparents there with their kids. And I start the paint party, and I'm like, guys, I said, I just got the best call in the world. I was like, we have been waiting for 22 months. And, you know, you could tell, like, I mean, I couldn't even keep it together. And I was like, you know, we have been waiting for 22 months for this heart transplant, and it's here. And I said, but I said, I love paint parties and I love teaching painting, and we are going to just have a blast and we are going to paint like crazy. And then, you know, as soon as this is over, I'm going to rush over to Austin and my dad is going to have a new heart. And so that's what we did. Like I taught that paint party, and it was so sweet that those grandparents, you know, they would just like look at me and hug me when I'd walk by to help their kids. And then we were sitting in that hospital, and I remember staying up all night with my siblings and my mom, and we stayed up all night waiting. You know, it was like a 11, 12-hour surgery. And when my dad came out, and he had this new heart, like this young guy, you know, unfortunately, you know, that lost his life, but he decided to be a donor. And then he, you know, gave my dad a second chance at life. From that moment on, I'm like, expect miracles, like expect them. I mean, our God is massively big, and he can do these types of things. And so to sit there in that waiting room for, you know, 11, 12 hours and be like, oh my gosh, like he's got a second chance, like a whole second chance at life. And somebody took a heart out of him and put a new heart in. I mean, that's a big God that can allow something like that. And to have that kind of grace for my dad and you know, that grace for my family. So, you know, with that moment, I'm just like, no. To this crap right here, fear is a liar. That is so much like that. Regardless if you join or don't join, don't let fear stop you. Seriously, you've got to get over that. And I know it's hard. But guys, I have seen miracles in my life, and the biggest one being my dad's heart and his transplant, and knowing that literally he can have a second chance. And for people to play small and to think that that's, you know, how God wants us to live, like, do you really think that's how God wants us to live? I don't think so. I don't think that's how he meant for us to live. You know, we had a Bible study this morning in our Paint Party headquarters group, which we do once a month, and we were talking about hope, and how, you know, it's biblical to be hopeful. It's biblical to have these things, and to want, you know, to do good for God, and to have these things. And so I'm sorry, I just get so fired up about that, because I know that God wants us to have a happy life. And I know that, yes, you know, everything's going to be perfect. There's going to be tragedy. There's going to be so many things that happen in our life that we can't control. There's going to be so many sad things, unfortunately, that happen. But what we do with that and how we can, you know, go on from that is so, so important, guys. And I just want you to oh, those are awesome. Don't show them, because it's a surprise for the 1-year anniversary people. Yeah, don't show them. So anyway, I just want to say, like, wherever you're at in your life, if you are letting fear stop you, guys, it is a lie, okay? Fear is a liar, and you've got to stop doing that. I have talked so much about the Big Magic book, okay? So I posted earlier on my on my Facebook page, Big Magic. And has anybody read that book yet? Put yes if you've read it. Put no if you've not read it. I want to see if anybody's out there listening. Sometimes it gets totally silent on the chat, and I'm like, is anybody there? We just gotta make sure everybody's there. Sorry, I get a little carried away. I get very fired up about this stuff. I don't know if you can tell or not. But Big Magic is so good. So there was, in that book, she talks about a lady who takes, she talks to this older lady, and let me know what y'all think. Oh my gosh, none of y'all have read it? Oh my gosh, you've got to read it tonight. Like, seriously, download it and read it tonight. That is going to help you with this. I am telling you. Okay, so there was something I read in that book a few years back, and I am so grateful I read it. Because it talks about her, and oh my gosh, all of y'all have not read it. get the book and read it tonight. Seriously. So I'm just going to tell you the part that has really stuck with me. I had it on, I had it printed out for a long time, and anytime I was stuck in that mindset of like, oh, you know, I can't do it, or, you know, the ups and downs of life or business or whatever the case may be. Because, you know, we tend to think our worthiness is tied to a paint party. It is not. It is not tied to a paint party. Our worthiness is tied to God. And yes, paint parties, we get to do this and we get to have so much fun with this, but that's not where we get our worthiness. I can tell you from a person who's been teaching paint parties consistently for over 7 years, you will have some parties that are 10 people. You'll have some parties that are 50 people. You'll have some parties that you have to cancel, but it is okay. Because remember, if we go back to that beginning, take a deep breath, pray for God to show us the opportunities, and then take inspired action. Don't just think about doing it. Actually do it. There's so many great things that can happen. So this book is called Big Magic, and I know I am not going to say it right, but I am going to do my best as I paint this with y'all. So there's this part where Elizabeth Gilbert, she talks about talking to this lady in her, I think she was in her late 60s. And again, forgive me for those of you that have read it. Please forgive me for those of you that have read it. And just for those of y'all, before I tell you the story, if you have not joined Paint Party Headquarters yet, the link is in the description, guys. The doors close at midnight on Thursday, and I cannot wait to get to know you better, to help you get a profit every party. We have a ton of fun in there, and you know, my promise to you is I'm just giving you all I got in there. It is so awesome. So you have ready to go painting tutorials, marketing hacks, social media hacks, everything you need to grow your paint party business. But yeah, so there's this part in here, and I read it a few years back, and Patty Palmer actually recommended it to me, and it has totally just freed the way I think. And maybe this will help some of y'all, okay? So she was talking about how she was talking to a lady who was in her 60s. And she said, in your 20s, you're just worried about what everybody thinks. You're worried about, you know, what you look like. You're worried about what, you know, how you look to other people. And you're just worried. And I remember, you know, I've talked openly to y'all about struggling with anxiety and still struggling with anxiety. But, you know, I remember, like, I could remember going to the grocery store and being nervous that people were looking at me. Like, who am I? Like, you know, why would I be so nervous thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm at the grocery store and people are staring at me? You know, like, but I had that weird, you know, social anxiety thing that I would walk around thinking, oh my gosh, I have to make sure I have my makeup on. I have to make sure, you know, if I see somebody I know, I say hi, you know, just all the random stupidness. But, you know, looking back, nobody cared. Nobody was staring at me, you know, but we go through that. We have all that mental chatter. And so, so she talks about how in her 20s that we have all this, you know, we care what people think, and we have all these things. And then she says in your 30s, you know, you start to get a little bit more brave. You start to get a little bit more courage, but you still really care about what everybody thinks. And then in your 40s and 50s, you start to think like, oh, I can do this, you know. You start to like let loose. But she says freedom. Freedom really lies in your 60s, because then you just don't give a damn. You don't care what anybody thinks. You just do what you want to do. And here's the thing. She said, she goes, you need to know that people are not looking at you that much anyway. Even if you fail miserably, they might notice you for a second, but they're really not noticing you for that long anyway. So she says, fail miserably, then get up and fail again, and then get up and fail again. And so when I read that, it totally freed me from this feeling of, yeah, I'm gonna fail, and I'm gonna fail, and I'm gonna fail. So my motto has been, I'm gonna fail as fast as humanly possible, because the more times I fail, the faster I can get back up, fail again, get back up, and fail again. And I think that has been the key to my success of consistently teaching paint parties, because I'll have a bad day, or I'll have a party that doesn't make, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, well, how can I tweak that? How can I change that? How can I approach this a different way? So anybody out there, I know you probably don't want to tell your ages, but have you felt that sense of freedom yet? I'm telling you guys, when you start to feel that way, and you know that the devil, this fear is what is holding you back. Because guess what? Us not showing God's love through art, us not being the person we were meant to be, is what the enemy wants. That is what he wants. And it is so important that we remember that, guys, the stuff that you're saying in your mind, all of that chatter, all of that nonsense, we have got to curb it on a daily basis. There's enough negativity out there that is always coming at us, and we have got to curb that on a daily basis. That's why I think it's so important. How many of y'all in here do a daily gratitude? Does anybody out there do like a daily? Oh, good. A lot of people are relating. Yes, I'm not the only one. And I know I'm not the only one. I get your messages. I get your emails. I know that this is a huge struggle right now. And I know it's not even better when people are on Facebook and they're comparing themselves. And oh, good. Somebody just ordered the book. Yes, read it. Like, read it in 2 days. I'm serious. You will get so much out of that. And you know, it's called Big Magic, and it's just has so many good insights for just getting over your fear and knowing that, you know, God has our back and there's a plan for us. So those of you that are out there and you're like, oh, I don't know if this is for me, then that's fine. Totally fine. You know, we all, you know, my daughter joined track this year, and she was so excited at the beginning, and she thought, oh my gosh, you know, I'm going to do track, Mom, and all of these things. And then she started doing track, and she was like, I don't like this. Like, I don't like this at all. Like, I don't want to run ever again. You know, she just hated it. And so, you know, it's okay. If you're not somebody who wants to teach paint parties, then that's okay. You don't have to be that person. But you do need to find something that you're good at, whether you are an encourager, whether, you know, it says in the Bible, there's all these things that we have, these gifts that have been given to us. And, you know, how can we use those? And hiding behind them, you know, because we're fearful, it's not okay. It's not okay. I know it's scary. Oh my gosh, the day that, you know, I was driving home after dropping Pixie off from school, and you know, my word of the year this year is obedience. And I'm really, you know, I stopped drinking for the entire year. I'm trying to just do everything God tells me to do. And I remember clearly hearing him say, do a Bible study on a Facebook Live. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, really? I don't want to do that. You know, I'm not a person that was raised going to church every week. I was not a person, like, I still look up the table of contents when I'm trying to find Bible verses. You know, I'm not that person, but I'm just trying to be obedient. And what I've noticed so much from the messages and the emails, it has been so much about fear and so much about being scared. But guys, I ask you to think of on the other side, like, how would you feel if you were so confident? How would you feel if you taught a paint party of, you know, people doing a painted prayer? How would you feel if you taught this and knew you got, you know, prepaid painters, people had something awesome that they got to look at and remind themselves of? Like, how would you feel then? Would you feel successful? Would you feel confident? Because confidence comes in doing. Confidence comes when you take action. And I'm telling you, it's a matter of taking action. Every time I have done something, I have been scared. Okay, who out there, do a like or a heart if you've done something new and you were scared? I know I'm not the only one. I'm trying to learn racquetball right now, and we're literally just hitting ourselves with the ball. Like, that's about all that's happening. There's not a lot of racquetball happening. It's just a lot of hitting ourselves with the ball. But we're learning it. We just bought new rackets. Like, we're getting serious here. You know, we're probably going to hit ourselves even harder because it's new rackets. But, you know, anytime you try something new, it's terrifying. But guys, here's the thing. I want to share this with you. I want to show you how you can do this business. I want to walk alongside you, so when you're in the ditch and you're freaking out, I can say, I've been there, I've done that, I know what to do to get out of there. And so if you are thinking, hoping, dreaming, wishing, wanting to teach a paint party, but you're not sure how, join Paint Party Headquarters. Guys, You can cancel at any time. It's month to month. I don't hold you hostage. Get in there, see if you like it. I would love to have you. Oh my gosh, there's women in there. Not only are you getting a bunch of things that I do, but there's so many women in there, like Sarah, who I talked to earlier on a Facebook Live, that is sharing so much information and her experiences. And we just really just rally around each other. And it's just been such a blessing to be able to help these women and then see them help me. This sign right here that I've been taking to all my paint parties and now holding up as I smile, that was from one of the girls, Carletta, in our group. She did this really cute sign, posted it in our group. I was like, oh my gosh, Carletta, I have got to have that for my paint parties. So I stayed up late one night and painted it. And so the next day I had a paint party and I was like, look, Carletta, I did the sign. We're all sharing ideas. And it's so much about that. It's not about competition. It's really about how many people can we get out there sharing God's love through art? How many? Because this world needs it. It needs it. It needs you. It needs you to step up. It needs you to not hide because you're scared. And whether that's with paint parties, which I'm your girl, if you're wanting to try to learn how to teach paint parties, I can help you do that. But if it's not that, if it's wanting to get in shape or whatever the case is, there's this quote that I can't remember who says it. And again, I know I'm going to butcher it, but it's something about, find the people that are doing what you want to do and do what they do. It's not that hard, people. You just mimic the people that are doing what you want to do. But Paint Party Headquarters basically offers you a fast track. So you don't have to sit there and go, what do I do next? Oh my gosh, because here's the thing I do know for sure. When you get stuck, you stop. You get confused. Your brain goes, this is too much. Life gets in the way. And then a year passes by and you go, man, what could have been? What could have been? But when you're in a place like Paint Party Headquarters and you're stuck, and you type a question out, or you come to the Q&A, or you go to one of the things that I have for you, you are immediately being able to take that inspired action, because that's when things really happen. That's when that's when magic happens. That's when God's opportunities that He's showing you, and you take that inspired action, that's when your life changes. And I know it sounds silly to say paint parties have changed my life, but they have totally changed my life. And it's because I have seriously prayed for God to show me opportunities, and I have seen women in this group do the same thing. There's a girl named Tangela who I just adore. She dreams big like me. She's like, I'm not dreaming small. She is dreaming big. But she's not just talking about it or dreaming about it. She is going and taking action. And I see her post in Paint Party Headquarters and I'm like, dang girl, go for it. Because she knows God has a purpose for her. She knows there's a reason for what she's doing. And yes, she's going to fail. We all fail. She is going to have no's. She is going to have to, hear a rejection. She's going to have to hear another rejection. But I promise you, if she keeps getting back up and failing as fast as she can, she is going to succeed. It's inevitable. When you keep failing and trying again, it's inevitable. You will succeed. But guys, you got to take action, because this is the truth right here. Anybody agree with that? This is the truth. Fear is a liar, and I do not want that to hold you back, no matter what you're doing. Whether you join Paint Party Headquarters or not, don't let it hold you back. All right, so I'm going to end with that. I feel like I've just been, maybe overstepping my boundaries, but I love you guys, and I want y'all to know that there is a purpose for you. There is a reason you're here. We need you, okay? The world needs you. There is too much hate and too much craziness in this world. So stop being a spectator and get in there. Do what you're supposed to do, okay? So anybody wanting to join Paint Party Headquarters, go ahead and click the link in the description. We would love to have you. I would love to get to know you more. So go ahead and click the link in the description, and then we're going to get you all situated and settled. And then, guys, the doors close on Thursday, so you got to make a decision. Got to make a decision, because my focus shifts towards these ladies and helping them succeed. So whatever you decide to do, I support you. I love you guys, and I hope y'all have a great night. And let me know if you have any questions. All right, bye guys.